This is the Daily Fill, episode number 133. What's up, DRUMTREPRENEURS? Welcome back to episode 133 of the Daily Fill. Today's quote's a special quote. I'm going to pull it right out of this book. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen Covey, by the way, is the G-Funk, and he's my favorite. I'm pulling this quote right here. Check it out. Nothing has a greater, longer lasting impression upon another person than the awareness that someone has transcended suffering, has transcended circumstance, and is embodying and expressing a value that inspires and ennobles and lifts life. This book changed my life. I'm not kidding you, it did. If you have not checked it out, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm talking about, this is a detailed book that gets principles of empathic communication. Amazing. It's a good chapter, good book, great book. You'll like it. I picked that quote for a reason, is because today we're going to talk a little bit about suffering. We're going to talk about using, other people's suffering to kind of catapult your ability to stay motivated. I wrote it right here. Today we're talking about transcending your suffering and using it as a catapult for momentum. And momentum is a big thing because you can build up a lot of it and use it to really, catapult yourself, like I said, and push that drive, get yourself to create and finish tasks. But it can also be halted so easily. I'm talking about by depression. I'm talking about by things like what people have to say, opinions, you halting yourself in your mind by creating maybe a circumstance that might not even really exist. So I want to talk about that. I kind of want to talk a little bit about last week, why we didn't put an episode up, how after all that great NAM chatter and all this great time that I was having, why wouldn't we have put up a Daily Fill? Why wouldn't I have talked about it, announced anything that went on? Let's start from the top. And we're really going to start really talking about how it's all about timing, right? So spent this great weekend at NAM and everybody's sick. Everybody's getting sick. And everybody's trying not to get sick by having hand sanitizer, washing their hands, just really going out of their way to stay clean, right? So what I've learned in life is that you don't do that type of shit. You don't plan to not get sick. If you overly think about not getting sick, using hand sanitizer, washing your hands, you're probably going to get sick. So you know what I did the entire time? No hand sanitizer. And it's going to sound gross, but minimal hand washing. Like when I went to the bathroom, I washed my hands. That's about it. But I didn't shake someone's hand or hug someone, or even if I were around a few people that I thought were sick, I wasn't going to use that as a wall in my mind to go, oh, I'm probably going to get sick if I don't clean myself up. Because in my opinion, if you think something, if you really think something, this is some secret type shit, right? But if you really think about something, it's going to happen. And it's terrifying, but I live by that standard. You do not assume things are going to happen too much unless you really, really want them to happen. It's the truth. It's the honest truth. And something that I want to talk about today is why it's so important to kind of have your mindset wrapped around what you think is important and not get caught up in all the bullshit like that. So I'm hanging out. I'm having a good time at NAM. Everyone's getting sick. I'm feeling great. Everything that I could have ever dreamed of happening has happened during this trip. So I get home, I have Zach Austin with me at Zach Austin Drums. We spend Sunday night together. We hang out Monday morning. I bring him to the airport probably around 12 o'clock. Still feeling good. Got my mind wrapped around this last week's tasks, the Daily Fill I want to do, the episode I want to talk about, all this stuff that I want to go through regarding being able to. Last week's episode was going to be about networking and why it's really important to spend time, I'm talking about spend time chatting with people. At NAM, I probably gotten 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50 plus different hour-long conversations that in some circumstances, it kind of wasted my time and held me from getting things that I really wanted to get done. But in retrospect, in hindsight, looking back, those were the greatest conversations I'd ever had. They developed relationships for me that are going to go a lot farther down the road. Trust me, you want to do that. You want to spend time talking with people. A lot of people DM drummers I like, and we spend a lot of time going back and forth with people. It's because we want to develop those relationships. We want to develop trust. We want you to believe in us because we believe in you. We want to be able to communicate on a level that helps you, guides you, mentors you, and allows you to get everything that we want to provide out of our channel. So it's really important to spend that time talking to people. And that's really what I wanted to talk about last week. But I dropped Zach off. It's about 12 o'clock. I get home. I knock out a few things. I have to go meet one of my clients. Say about 3 o'clock, I start getting this pain right here. Boom, boom. It feels like this. Boom, boom. Hit yourself in the face. It's like that all day. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I have no idea what the hell is going on, right? So I take some Tylenol. I try to like deal with it throughout the day, thinking, hey, it's probably just like I might have chipped my tooth. I'll have to go see a dentist. Let me just go see what's going on, right? And a little backstory behind that: my entire life, I was born 5 months, so I'm a preemie, and my entire life I have been battling my teeth. I'm talking about enamel issues, calcium issues. My mouth doesn't do what other people's mouth does regarding keeping everything in order, so I have to go through different types of toothpaste, all these different supplements, medicines, things that really like play a big role in making sure I have mouth health. Well, a few things have started to slip over the last few years, and it's really because the workload. I work so much, right? So much time on working. I talk about these battle plans. I talk about, really, and here's this week's battle plan. By the way, are you doing your battle plan? Because you should be. Here's this week's. But, really maximizing all the time in the world. But what's something I never really talk about? It's health. It's not thinking about these little things like scheduling doctor's appointments. If you feel some kind of pain for more than a couple days, maybe get it checked up. I would just blow these things off as like, whatever. Here's a straw. Suck it up, buttercup. You're fine. But it wasn't. It was not fine. So I'm going to be easy on myself here, but probably about 3 years I was dealing with like some kind of issue with my gum that was building up and building up and building up and building up. And on that Monday, after I dropped Zach off, it like happened, right? It like hit its barrier. It blew up, so to say. So I spent the entire day at the dentist Tuesday. I went into an emergency surgery Tuesday night. Woke up Wednesday morning feeling 10 times better than I'd ever felt, but I was done. There's no way that Daily Fill was going to get done Tuesday, right? I had surgery. I had to go to the doctor and spend 5 hours in there getting them to reassure that they could even touch my mouth, what was going on, etc., etc., etc. Long story short, I am back on track. My health is A-okay. But it ruined my week. Like, it ruined it. I had nothing done Tuesday. I got nothing done Wednesday. By Thursday, the antibiotics were starting to finally kick in, and like I was starting to feel like myself. But it wasn't until Friday that like the motivation bug kicked back in. I got back up and I was like, oh, I can eat.
Those songs are hard.
I feel
they require me to listen, not only to understand the parts,
and I'm talking intense
they also
pain
require
here, okay?
me to feel the song. I've got to know the song.
And I don't really,
For me,
I
as a
never
drummer,
take painkillers,
I can't
so I
just look at
imagine
fucking
taking like a
numbers and sit
Tylenol
down
3
and play.
would have
Oh, that's how you do it. I got it all figured out. Does not work like that for me. I've got to break it down.
I never felt anything like this. Made me want to quit. Made me want to give up.
Like,
Scott's
Common
messaging
Man's
me, like, let's get
Collapse.
this
There's just
done.
rhythm
My
in
mom's
there, right?
messaging
The
me.
rhythm
Coworkers are
is
messaging me. I just launched an app, and my programmers are up my ass about it, and I can't even like think twice of how to answer them, how to acknowledge them, how to give them the guidance that they need. And it really screwed me up. And it was a kick in the ass because it was like, Rich, you didn't prepare for this. The king of preparation, the king of motivation, always writing shit down. Why didn't you write down like a backup plan in case your health went to shit one day? What if I woke up tomorrow and I had cancer and the doctor said you got 2 weeks to live? What happens to drummers? What happens to everything we've created? Does it just go away because I had to be a bitch and get sick? No, it can't be like that. So last week I started really putting plans in place. The what ifs. What if I die tomorrow? I don't want to think about that, but what if I do? I've got to have a plan in place. And even more so, because that looming thoughts in my mind, now I've got to work fucking 10 times as hard. I'm talking about 10x on my 10x, and then 10x on that 10x, so that I can get as much done. And part of that 10x focus means focusing on the health, so that I have that long-term ability to continue to do the things that I want to do, right? If I'm going to start something, I got to finish it, and I can't finish it if I'm sick. I cannot finish it if I'm sick. And if I'm not paying attention to my health during the process of creating the things I want to create, well, then what was the point of creating it in the first place? Because without your health, what do you have? You've got nothing. We've all heard that quote before, right? Without your health, what do you have? It's true. If you're sick, how can you provide for somebody? If you're dying, how can you, promise a future? How can you guarantee the growth of something, scaling? If you're sick because you didn't take care of your health, because you drank too much shitty soda or bad food, you have to think about all those things, because when it comes down to it, the sickness that I got, I could have self-prevented that all day. I really could have. I could have put a little bit more investment into doctors, into the effort that I needed to get people to continually check out what's going on with my mouth and put together a real plan to make sure that I don't deal with these type of things down the road. And I didn't do that. I didn't think about me or my health. And it's as important as your business, as important as your relationships, as important as your family, as your kids, your wife, your girlfriend, whatever it is that's really big to you that isn't yourself. Yourself is just as important as that. And your health, it's everything. It all starts with the food too. I'll tell you that. Had a bad diet growing up, and it definitely screwed me over. It really, 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 really did. But, that's That was kind of the problem I dealt with last week. Let me check my notes. So that it ruined everything. Like I said, I missed last week's episode. We almost didn't even put up a Friday podcast. If I wasn't feeling just a little bit better after our Thursday podcast with Justin Scott, then I don't think that you would have had an episode last week on NAMM that we had planned out. Big shout out to Kevin. Big shout out to Scott. Thank you, boys, for helping me make that happen. You really pulled through for me. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning for Kevin when we recorded that show, and he had work in 4 hours. So boss player shit, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But this is what I want you to do. This is what today's episode's all about, because we're going to wrap it up right now. Right? Today's episode is all about using this issue that I've dealt with, my suffering. I suffered last week. It ruined my show. It ruined everything that I wanted to get done. You just saw the Drummers I Like side of things. You didn't see my Microfit app, Weed Authority, Radio 420, the 2 clients that I have, which is someone that we all know in our community know really well, that I left them hanging. I left everybody hanging because I didn't have a plan in place. Thank God for my assistants, making sure that my client stuff got done. But, you know, it really, really, really sucked me dry. I'm just thinking about it right now. It's a killer thing. So I want you to take that, all right? And self-evaluate from this. Are you in bad health right now? Are there things that are screwing you up? Do you have aches, pains, a cough? Is there something you're doing, like your diet? Are you eating fast food every day? Are you drinking too much soda? Soda is what got me. Soda is what fucking got me. You cannot drink soda. You cannot do it. I drink soda from like age 4 to age 23 every day. And in my younger years, I'm talking like 20, 30 probably packs of soda a month. I'm talking I would do a 12-pack of soda a day sometimes. My parents didn't even know I was tricking them. I had little schemes, sodas hidden under my bed, a sides fridge, all the shit you could think of. I had it to sneak soda. And guess what? I got gut issues. I've got everything you could think of, man. Ulcers, problems going on. I'm only 30 years old. Food will destroy you. So think about that. Think about the suffering I went through last week and evaluate your health. Evaluate everything you've got going on. And not just your health, but think about the elements around you, your family, your friends, how something happening to them could affect you, and what you would do in the moment. Say if your best friend calls you, or your best friend mom calls you and says, hey, Jeff just got hit by a car. He might not make it. What do? What if you had a deal on the line for $1 million? What if you had a client that needed work done? What if you had family that really needed you? How would you balance that? How would you balance getting your content done, staying on top of your tasks, your business, and also dealing with maybe your own health issues? How would you do that? You got to put a plan together for that. You've got to lay something out that says, hey, if I get fucking cancer, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Just in case I die or something bad happens, all my ducks are in a row. And I know it sounds morbid. It sounds scary. We don't want to talk about dying. We don't want cancer. No one wants any of these things. But you got to think. You got to think ahead. We live in a world where 1 in 3 people get cancer, where everybody's dealing with diabetes. Everyone's got everything you could think of. The epidemics are going crazy. People are dying in Kern County from the freaking flu. Like, you kidding me? The flu? Wipe that off. You shouldn't be dying from the flu. Get the health up. Drink a little bit more water. Think about all these things. You know, everyone's health doesn't really work the same way as other people's health, right? It's not very subjective in that sense, but the basics, man. Drink water. Very minimal sugar, very minimal salt. That's what screwed my mouth up. That's what helped. That's what continued to make the battle I've been fighting my entire life a really hard battle to fight. And not only is it a physical battle, but it's a mental battle. No one wants to have issues with their mouth, right? It's where you smile. It's your big white pearlies. You want to feel good about that. And not only has it affected my health, but over the years, it has affected my confidence. And it's been something I've had to deal with every day. It's like, you know what, Rich, there's nothing you can do about it. You're never going to have that big, giant white smile because your mouth just can't hold calcium like that. Your enamel doesn't recreate. You don't have that kind of thing that other people have because you weren't dealt those cards. I got it. I just got to stay healthy. I might not be perfect. I might not look perfect, but if I focus on the health side of things, I'll grow. I'll stay alive. I'll be able to focus on what really matters. And that's building a future for myself, my wife, and my son. That's what it's all about, all right? That's really what it's all about at the end of the day. Your family, the people you provide for, and the continuous uplifting of yourself and everyone around you. That's it. And that's the end of today's show. That's what I really wanted to when you think about. Think about what I dealt with. Think about how I lost the show. Think about how all these things happened to me. But still, I did everything I could to make sure that the day that I could get back on the horse, I got back on the horse. And yeah, I worked my ass off over the weekend. I should have taken more of a break. I should have slept more. All right, that's a lie. I slept for like 12 hours on Saturday. But I still got up and I worked. I cleaned my house, cleaned my garage, set up the drum space, which I'm going to be posting a lot more videos soon because I have now got a very nice practice spot with like live drums set up. That's not going to be annoying. that I can play a little bit more often. Are we good on time? Cool. We're doing good on time too. 14 minutes in. So yeah, that's it. I wanted to keep it short today. I really wanted to get into this health thing, and I want you to think about that. Let me reiterate that for the 50th time. I've said it in the last 5 minutes. Use my suffering to catapult your motivation, build your momentum. Do not let your sicknesses get in the way. If you're feeling sick right now, get that shit taken care of. Pull out the vitamin C packets, start drinking that water, and stay on top of it. Because if you get sick next week and that $300 gig's coming up on Friday, what are you going to do? Play it sick and screw it all up and never get the job again? Or are you going to call out? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Get your shit together. Work on your health. Think about all these things. DM me at Rich Ducat or at Drummers I Like. Scott or myself will chat with you. We'll answer any questions. You want to talk about health? You want to talk about fitness? You want to talk about any of that stuff? Our heads are firmly wrapped around it. And that's really what's important to us right now is driving you, building momentum for you, helping you understand some of these bigger picture ideas that we always think about here at Drummers I Like as an organization, and also telling you how to apply them. Remember, you need to use your battle plan. This is my week, right? Remember, we went through this. Here's my day plan. Remember, we went through this. A big shout out to Grant Cardone. Thank you for this. It's great. Great little book here. That's it. That's it. Focus on those things this week. Think about those things. Remember, seek out others that have transcended from suffering and overcome some of the biggest obstacles in life. Look, my little T thing, this is shit. This is nothing. All right? It's a little simple thing that I can use as an example. But think about bigger problems that others have overcame. Look it up. Look into the suffering that others have dealt with, only to come out on top with success and win. And to win. Winning. Winners. Winners only. That's what I'm into. That's what I want you to be into this week. I want you to think about those things. Before we wrap it up, what do we got here on the docket? Scroll up right here. Scott's Lesson of the Week. That went live on Monday. It was entitled Dazed and Confused. Good episode, too. It really got into not allowing the clutter that drums and learning drums, education, everything wrapped around rudiments, etc., cloud your mind and ruin your judgment for the practice or the efforts you need to put into yourself. It's fantastic. Great episode. I'm very proud of Scott too, man. He's killing it right now. He is really transcended, right? He's come from this guy. I'm not saying he's like a little guy. Always been a phenomenal drummer, but someone who wouldn't really speak on camera that much, who didn't have recording chops, right? Now he's a king. He is a boss. Look at all that hard work he's put into, and it turned around on him in just a couple months, right? Now he works with me. He's a part of my company. He's really worked his ass off, and I'm very proud of him. So go check out his episode. It's drummersalike.net/daily, the Daily Fill. Number 132, Daily Fill 132. Check that out. This Friday, we got Justin Scott coming on the show. J Scott Drummer. Yeah, that's him. Giant on Instagram, a genius. The chat's over 2 hours long because we just got into the thick of it. A lot of fun to talk to, too. Kevin and I had a blast. It was a good show. I like a lot. Very good. But check that out. Also, if you're watching this right now and it's Wednesday, you have till the end of tonight to go to snare.predatorpercussion.com or snare.drummersalike.net. Wow, I messed that up, right? snare.drummersalike.net. You can follow the 3 easy steps, enter to win a 13x8 Brazilian pecan stave snare made by my good friend Mike Martin at Predator Percussion, a sponsor of this show, a sponsor of Amazing Life, and just a good person, man. I love the guy to death. Means the world to me as a friend. We built his website. We put it together. We've worked very closely over the last few months to make sure something beautiful could display his fine artwork of drums that he's created. Great stuff, though. PredatorPercussion.net, snare.predator, or snare.drummersalike.net to enter that contest. 3 easy steps. Super, super easy. You don't want to miss it out. We are choosing the winner tonight. So tonight, as of this day of airing, it's Tuesday recording this, but on Wednesday, we are now announcing the winner. We're picking the winner, and then on Friday on the Drummers I Like podcast, this Friday with Justin Scott, in the very beginning, we're going to announce the winner of the snare, and boom, that contest is over, and next week we're launching another contest. So we're not stopping. We're going to give you everything you need to become a drumtrepreneur, to sustain your career, sustain your mind, stay motivated, continue to drive yourself, and build that momentum that you need to drive yourself forward. You need momentum. You need to consistently be building it, and that's what we want to do. So snare.drummersalike.net. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. We'll see you Friday with Justin Scott. Big shout out to Predator Percussion, Scott, and my homeboy Kevin. Have a great day, everybody. What's up, drumtrepreneurs? You just caught a fresh episode of The Daily Fill. Just want to remind you that you can find us on social media. For Twitter and Instagram, it's @drummersilike, and for Facebook, it's facebook.com/drummersilike. Listen, drumtrepreneurs, I need you to stay motivated. I need you to hustle. I need you to grind. I need you to put in 110% this week. Because if you're not focused on your goals and your efforts, you're not focused on being a drumtrepreneur, then what the hell are you focused on? Come on, let's get with it. We'll see you